Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing good. This is the weekly market update live stream. And if you are new to my channel, please make sure to subscribe to it. Make sure to like the live stream. If you have not followed me over Twitter, 𝗟𝘍𝗲𝗂𝗚, this is my Twitter handle. I occasionally share market updates, calls over my Twitter account as well. So make sure that you are following me over Twitter. Once again, 𝗟𝘍𝗲𝗂𝗚𝗚, this is my Twitter handle. And if you would like to receive more organized market updates and calls, you can always join in the Discord server. Um, we have a few offers going on with free 15-day subscription on the premium membership. So yeah, please make sure to use that membership, 15-day free membership. All you have to do is simply just join the Discord server. All of these links you can find in the description of this video. And we are going to have a giveaway, two free monthly premium memberships I'm going to give to any of these random viewers in this live stream. So please make sure to watch this live stream till the end because we have a giveaway for 2 free premium monthly memberships. All right. Yes, the winners will be announced because I see a lot many people are already asking in the chat box. The winners will be announced. The winners are going to be randomly picked from all of you guys. So the winners are going to be announced at the end of the live stream. So please make sure to watch the live stream till the end and make sure that you have subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you are following me over Twitter. You will be asked to open a support ticket as soon as you are named the winner. Yes, I'll just pick a random winner. So you guys don't have to say that, okay, pick me. I'll be picking a random winner at the end of the live stream. All right. First of all, the last 24 hours have been really exciting, have been really important. So many important things have happened in the past 24 hours. So that is why I thought it would be a good idea to move the time of live stream to 1 p.m. as per my time zone, because at 2:30 p.m. already the market opens at 2:30 p.m. the US market, and already things start changing at that time. So just wanted to give you a brief overview of the things that have happened in the past 24 hours or so. The first chart that we are going to discuss in this live stream is the chart for stable.c.d. Now, first of all, for some weird reason, okay, this is probably a glitch in TradingView, that stable.c.d and all of these other crypto cap charts, okay, all of these charts for different indices that are being provided by crypto cap, they're basically not working, and they have a limited history. So first of all, apologies for this because this chart is not complete. Okay, I cannot really do anything about it because it's a glitch with TradingView, so you cannot just load the complete history for this chart. But I just need this data right here to make a point that stable.c.d, it has hit this resistance level. I had mentioned this almost like 2-3 days ago that it's sitting at a higher time frame support, and there is a chance that it would at least go back up to this resistance level at least 7.3%, at least 7.4% level. Now, before I move on towards explaining why exactly is it so important, first of all, let me quickly explain that what is stable.c.d. Now, whenever we talk about Bitcoin during these live streams, we usually always start the discussion with the USDT.D chart, which is the market capitalization of the stablecoin issued by Tether. Now, the two most popular stablecoins, the two stablecoins in the crypto market that have the most amount of market capitalization, the first one is USDT.D, okay, which accounts for almost 4% of the total crypto market cap. And then we have USDC.D, the stablecoin issued by the Circle company, which has almost like 1% market share of the total crypto market cap. All right. So these two are the most popular stable coins, and then we have some smaller stable coins as well. But to prove the point that okay, you would just need one chart which is negatively or inversely correlated chart with Bitcoin. Okay, you can use USDT.D or you can use USDC.D. Okay, I would recommend using USDT.D or USDC.D or stable.c.d. Now, USDT.D obviously is the market capitalization of USDT stablecoin. USDC.D is the market capitalization of the stablecoin issued by Tether. USDC stablecoin But if you want a combined view, if you want a more accurate view, if you want a more complete view, then you can always use stable.c.d. Okay, I would not honestly recommend using USDC.d because it only accounts for 1% of the total market share of crypto, right? And then it accounts for very small number. If you compare it to stable.c.d, or if you compare it to USDT.d. You can use USDT.d, which is the largest stablecoin in the crypto market, or you can use stable.c.d, which basically takes into account not only USDT.d but also USDC.d or any other stable coins that are present in the market. So instead of just looking at the market share, or instead of looking at the market capitalization of these individual stable coins, you can simply just take a look at stable.c.d, which would give you a more accurate picture, a more complete picture of what exactly is happening in the market right now. Now, once again, unfortunately, I cannot give you the previous examples because I cannot load the chart history. It's simply just not working. There is a technical glitch happening with TradingView. I would have to submit a ticket with them and they would look into this. But, or I would have shown you that, how important this chart really is. Okay. And in fact, I did share an update on this chart almost like a few days ago when the USDT.d chart was not giving an accurate picture. Okay. Now, if you are someone who has been constantly watching these live streams, you would know that I always start talking about, first of all, USDT.d. Okay. And I always say that instead of looking at the Bitcoin chart, you can always take a look at USDT.d chart, which is negatively inversely correlated chart with Bitcoin, and it would give you an opposite view. For example, if you think that USDT.d would go up, then it would simply just mean that Bitcoin would go down. Okay, you have to do the same form of technical analysis, same chart patterns, trend lines, support, resistance, and all of that stuff. Okay, you just have to do all of those things the same way as you would do on the Bitcoin chart. But for the last few days, we have seen that I would just show you the USDT.d chart. You can see that we have made two equal highs around, sorry, two equal lows around here. Okay, this was an indication that price would go up. But at the same time, if you would take a look at this chart on the 4-hour time frame, you would notice that it was very noisy, right? This was a resistance level. Price had a break below this level, then came back up. Once again, had a break below this level, then came back up. Once again, had a break below this level. Okay. We will be talking about this chart separately because there are a few important signs on this chart as well. But first of all, let's talk about stable.c.d chart, right? The point here is that this chart was not giving an accurate representation of as to what exactly is going to happen with Bitcoin or the crypto market in general. So that is why I thought it would be a good idea to simply just move to a much better accurate picture, which is in the form of stable.c.d. Now, if you would take a look at USDT.d chart, you would notice that price was breaking below the support level. It was changing into a resistance. Then price was breaking above that resistance, flipping into support. So that is why it was a very noisy chart. But in comparison, stable.c.d, once again, I cannot show you the complete picture. We do not have enough data because of, this technical error. Which is happening because of some glitch with TradingView. But the point is that this was a very important support level, right? If you would look at that update, which I shared a few days ago, you would notice that I had shared a complete screenshot in that picture, and you could have seen that this is a very important support level, right? And price almost always reacts at this support level. So it was out of a question thing that, Bitcoin is not going to easily break above 125,000 level, because this was not only the first retest of this level, but at the same time, this is a very strong daily time frame level that we are talking about. Okay. And this was the first retest. We all know that the first retest is always your single best opportunity to take a long or a short position. So first of all, 125,000, 123,000, apparently there was no resistance at those levels. Yes, there was a resistance if you would use the fib levels. Maybe we'll be talking about that part later on. But if you need an alternative chart, you can simply just take a look at stable.c.d, which was telling you that, okay, there is a strong support present around here. This is the first retest, and most likely it was going to be a successful one. And in that update, I had mentioned that stable.c.d would eventually go back up to this resistance level, and because it's going to be the first retest of this resistance, chances are that it's going to be a successful one. And this is exactly what we are seeing, that we had a move back up to this resistance level 7.29%, and it's happening to be a successful retest of this resistance. Okay, and there are chances that price, in the next few hours would simply, or in the next day or two, would simply just move back down to 6.85 support back again. But right now we are compressed in between these two levels. This is the resistance, this is the support, and until and unless we see a break above this resistance, in that case we would have to take a short position on BTC, or we see a break below this level, in that case we would have to take a long position on BTC. Okay, because if flip of this support would change it into resistance, if flip of this resistance would simply just change it into support. So that is why you do not have the you don't really have to force the market right now. Make sure that you are paying attention to all of these levels very carefully. They're really important, right? And once again, if you cannot do that on USDT.D chart, I completely understand. You can always take a look at _stable.c.d, which would give you a more accurate representation. I haven't really applied the quarterly, yearly VWAPs and all of that stuff, but still, you can apply all of those things and see where exactly, those dynamic levels are on this chart. But, this is all from my side on stable.c.d chart. Once again, it's a very important chart, and you can try opening up this chart in your TradingView terminal, and please let me know in the chat box if it's working for you, because it's not working for me for some reason. And it's not just with stable.c.d chart. All of these indices which are being offered by CryptoCap, most of these indices charts is simply just not working. All right. Now let's take a look at USDT.D chart as well. Now, first of all, USDT.D had two very important things. First of all, it had two of these equal lows. We know the simple man theory. First of all, the higher time frame you go, the more accurate these things would become. The lower the time frame you go, less accurate these things would become. So equal lows on the higher time frame, like the daily time frame chart, are really accurate, right? And the equal lows on, let's suppose, 5-minute or the hourly time frame chart, they are not really going to be that accurate. First thing. Secondly, what's a simple man theory? Simple man theory says that if you have two equal lows present on the chart, you simply just have to take a long position. If you have two equal highs present on the chart, you simply just have to take a short position. Very simple, right? And I have muted that Discord notification. Somebody pointed out in the chat box. Thank you so much for doing that. I've just muted that your notification sound. Apologies for that. So two equal lows, simple man theory. As soon as you see equal lows on the chart, you would simply just take a long position. And in that case, there were signs that USDT.D would simply just move back up, would simply just creep back up because of these two equal lows. Okay, but the important point here is that USDT.D chart, it has been making these lower lows and lower highs, all right, on the daily time frame chart, which means that you can always draw the Fib levels from the start of impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave. And if you would draw the Fib levels, you would notice that price just got rejected at 61.8%, 65% Fib level. But once again, I'm not a big fan of using Fib levels without taking into account the SR levels, meaning that in this case, I believe because USDT.D has not perfectly tapped this resistance level, so there are chances that we may go back up to this resistance level. But be very careful, because USDT.D chart, in my opinion, is not giving you an accurate representation. It's not giving you the complete picture. And above all, it's I've pointed this out over and over again throughout these live streams that it's very common for price to just continue to consolidate in a range, to move sideways for some time after an impulsive move in one direction. I mean, we just saw a move from, first it was a move from 98.2k all the way up to 107k. Then price continued to consolidate between 106k to 109k range for at least 10 to 11 days. Then we had another impulsive move towards 123k, and now we are simply just consolidating in the same range, and most likely we are going to see another impulsive move towards upside very soon. At least this is what the expectation is, considering that we have a downtrend on USDT.D, considering that we have a downtrend on stable.c.d, and Bitcoin has been in an uptrend. Nothing really has changed on the Bitcoin chart. In fact, the important part here is that nothing really has changed in the past 24 hours. I mean, this is really interesting. Most people, they do not understand this correlation, but Bitcoin literally has moved $500 to $800 during the past 24 to 48 hours. But most of these altcoins, they're down almost 20%, 15%, 25% during the past 48 hours. I mean, this is a really interesting story, and it's happening because of Bitcoin dominance. Okay, this is the main culprit, Bitcoin dominance, because Bitcoin dominance has been constantly increasing. But before we talk about the Bitcoin dominance part, first of all, let me talk about Ethereum as well. Okay, or shall we just talk about Bitcoin dominance? Okay, let's start with Bitcoin dominance first, and then we would simply just move towards the Ethereum story, because Ethereum story itself is a very interesting story. Uh, you know, I know that a lot many of you have been asking me about the ETH lately, that where exactly is it going? ETH is looking really interesting. The chart itself is looking really interesting, all right? But first of all, let's talk about Bitcoin dominance. Now, in order to track Bitcoin dominance, you have a choice to either use BTC.D chart, or you can simply just use BTC DOM chart, okay? Now, when we talk about these indices, right, like Bitcoin dominance, like, total 2, like total 3, total chart, USDT dominance, stable.c.d, because these are simple indices, you cannot trade these charts, okay? This is opposite to the traditional markets in which we have S&P 500, in which we have Dow Jones Industrial Average, and we have other different averages, other different indices which we can actually trade. But in the crypto market, these indices you cannot really trade. But you have one exception, which is BTC dominance, right? The symbol for this index is BTC DOM. Okay, I don't know why exactly Binance has listed this coin, or who exactly issued this coin, or who exactly offers this coin, but this coin is literally just listed on Binance. Okay, you can see that BTC DOM USDT.P. Okay, wow, it's listed over BLOFIN as well. Okay, this is a really interesting thing, because I guess BLOFIN just recently listed this on their exchange. For years it was only listed over Binance. Now this is a very interesting thing, considering that we usually just trade on BLOFIN. BLOFIN is the exchange that we actively promote. Almost 80 to 90% of our audience, they're simply just trading on BLOFIN. So this is a really interesting thing. I was literally thinking this morning that we could have hedged this whole move, because we had a lot many different long positions open. So we could have opened a hedge position, a long position on BTC DOM USDT.P, because this is simply just a very suitable choice in these kind of situations when you have like too many open long positions and you cannot afford to open a short positions. You don't have any idea if the short position is really going to work or not. You can always use BTC DOM USDT.P. Okay, so yeah, yes, you can trade this chart. 𝗚Mnesia is asking, can you trade this chart? Yes, if you are using one of these two exchanges, and Binance and BLOFIN, I absolutely recommend these two exchanges. I understand that most people, they do not have access to Binance, but you should have access to BLOFIN. BLOFIN is literally not blocked anywhere except for like one or two different territories, I guess in Singapore, and then maybe some parts of US, and it's working in almost all different parts of the world. So BLOFIN, we have an excellent communication with them, we have a partnership with them. All the links you can find in the description of this video. Make sure to use that link. If you have access to Binance, is the best? If so, why? I mean, you should always have like at least one or two different exchanges. Because I have access to Binance, because I have access to BLOFIN, the part of the world where I am from, literally no single exchange is blocked or no single exchange is banned, which means that I can literally use any of these exchanges with KYC. Okay, I'm not a big fan of not doing KYC on your exchanges. Okay, when I first started using BLOFIN, they said that you don't really have to use you don't really have to do KYC on your exchange. But I was like, no, I would definitely like to do that, because I want some kind of identity associated with my account. So if anything goes wrong at some point in time, I can at least claim the ownership on my assets, right? So yeah, BLOFIN, Binance, and Bitunix, these three exchanges we promote. We do not have a partnership with Binance because I know that Binance, they're really good, so they would not really freeze your assets. They are not like these other exchanges like 𝗍𝒑𝒑 or some of these other exchanges which are registered in third world countries, okay, which are not compliant with the rules and laws of these other territories. So that is why I always recommend using these big tier 1 exchanges, which in my opinion is BLOFIN, which in my opinion is Binance. Most people sometimes complain about fees on BLOFIN, but I have talked to their representatives over and over again about this fee thing, and their point is very simple, that we make money only from fee. We do not make money from exchange listings like MEXC. We do not do these shady practices by intentionally liquidating people, by intentionally doing all of that stuff. They say that we are not making money from these unethical practices. So it's legit for us. It's reasonable for us to have a decent amount of fee, or to charge a decent amount of fee for any position that you would open. And it's literally good in my opinion. I have paid thousands and thousands of dollars of fee. In fact, I paid thousands of dollars of fee in terms of fee on these exchanges. I have never asked Binance or BLOFIN or any of these exchanges which I'm partnered with for any VIP privilege in which I can simply just save some fee. As long as you're profitable, as long as you're making profits, as long as you have a good read of the market, you should not really be worried about the zero fee thing on MEXC and all of that shit. Okay, we already have discussed this in multiple live streams. I would not waste more time on that. The point here is that BTC DOM USDT.P, this is the chart that you can absolutely trade. Okay, and it's a good thing that you can trade this chart. And I was not aware that this coin has been listed on BLOFIN as well, but if it has been, then it's a really good thing. And now, whenever you are in some trouble, whenever you are seeing that the market is dropping because price on the Bitcoin chart is decreasing, and at the same time Bitcoin dominance is increasing, that's when you can simply just open a hedge long position. If you have too many open long positions, you can simply just open another long position on BTC DOM USDT.P, because this would simply just hedge all of your positions. But the point here is that whatever has happened in the past 24 hours or 48 hours, the main culprit has been Bitcoin dominance. Okay, and this is a perfect recipe of disaster. Okay, just like almost in the past 2 weeks, altcoins, they were constantly increasing, right? We had a mini altcoin sort of rally. And what was happening at this time, not only the price on the Bitcoin chart was increasing, okay, or remained reasonably stable, but at the same time Bitcoin dominance was decreasing, right? Bitcoin dominance had a drop. You can see that this was this ascending trend line on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and we had a drop from 5,300 level all the way down to 4,100 level. Okay, and this was the reason why we had this mini altcoin rally for the past 2 weeks or so. I don't really know if it's going to continue or not, because it depends on a lot of different variables. I was pointing this out over and over again during this 2 week period as well, when people were asking me that if this is going to be a different time, if it's going to be different than what we have seen in the first week of May, or in the month of January, or in the month of November, or in the month of December, right? My answer was very simple, that there is no way that you can predict if it's going to be different this time or not. All you can do is you can simply just make use of the available information. Okay, this information, nobody would have access to this information if it's going to be different or not. But my point is that you would have an actual altcoin rally once you have the rate cut. But as per the estimates we have, as per the data that we have, as per the information that we have, no rate cuts are happening in the month of July. The first rate cuts are expected in the month of September. So September is going to be bullish. So you just have to wait for you just have to survive for 1 or 2 more months, and then you can have an actual altcoin rally. And the period is going to be not too big. We already had these mini rallies. So most likely towards the end of this year, that's when, if you look at the traditional markets in comparison, they already just keep on making these all-time highs. Even today, S&P 500 made another all-time high. So that is why we are already sitting at the highs, and you can see how exactly the correction would hurt people. I guess $1 billion or so was wiped out of the crypto market just during the past 24 hours or so, mainly due to these long positions getting liquidated, because many people, they were over leveraged on their positions, and they were not able to simply just survive this job. But anyways, the main culprit has been Bitcoin dominance. You can see that this is the doodle that we had, that Bitcoin dominance, it would simply just go back up to this resistance level. This is where it should be getting rejected at. Although I have said this several times that I'm not a big fan of doing technical analysis on the Bitcoin dominance chart, specifically BTC.D chart. BTC DOM, yes, you can do technical analysis. At the end of the day, it simply just is a coin. It's not an index. But BTC.D, it is an index. But at the same time, BTC DOM is not a chart itself. It's simply just tracking the tracking the movement of BTC.D. And before we move forward with this, I tried 𝗕CX and it felt same. Okay, just to let you guys know, if you're using 𝗕CEX exchange, it is literally owned by 𝗍𝗍. Okay, 𝗍𝗍 owns that exchange. You would literally find the same UI. I have talked to their representatives, I've talked to their people. 3 exchanges, 𝗍𝗍, 𝗍𝗃, and 𝗘𝗍𝑥. They are literally the same exchange. They are owned by same people. They are owned by same company. 𝗍𝗍, as soon as KYC was made mandatory for all of these exchanges like Bybit, like BingX, like 𝗍𝗍, they simply just in order to in order to get around with this problem, they simply just launched 2 new exchanges with different names. One is 𝗘𝗍𝑥 and the other one is 𝗍𝗃. Okay, so if you're using any of these 3 exchanges, please, please, please be very careful. They have offered to pay us literally thousands of dollars. We have 𝗍𝗍, representatives in our support tickets asking to do a partnership with us, but we have simply just refused. Same is the case with 𝗘𝗍𝑥, same is the case with 𝗍𝗃. 𝗍𝗃 has been chasing us for the past 6 months. They offered to literally sponsor all of our trips and everything to Singapore, Token 2049 event, and to this, Dubai event as well. But we have simply outright refused that we cannot do that. Answer is very simple. Response is very simple because, these exchanges, they're simply just owned by 𝗍𝗍. And for that reason, we cannot promote it to our audience because we know that I have a personal experience with 𝗘𝗍𝗍𝗃. I opened an account on 𝗘𝗍𝗍𝗃. I talked to the representatives that is it good, is it safe? And after a few days, they said that you have to do KYC in your account. My response was that it's a non-KYC exchange. Why do I have to do, KYC on this exchange? And then they simply just, held all of my funds. They simply just froze my account, asking me to do KYC. And then their support staff was extremely weird, acting extremely weird. When I contacted my manager, he was constantly apologizing, saying that, I would like to apologize for this behavior. But I was forced to do KYC on my account. And then I was forced to do advanced KYC on my account. When I did advanced KYC, they said that you cannot literally do advanced KYC, or you cannot even do KYC because the country where you are from, and by the way, this is the only exchange which blocks my native country, of which I am a citizen. They say that that country is not in our list, and that is why, we have frozen your funds. Now, what kind of an exchange this is? First, they say that, okay, we let you open an account, okay? And then they say that, okay, because you are from a non-KYC country, now you have to do KYC. Yes, you cannot do KYC because you are from, country which is not restricted, by the way, okay? But simply just is not in our KYC list. I mean, this is a very ridiculous sort of thing. I would not want to go into the details, but I had to go back and forth with them for at least 2 weeks, and they finally apologized. They had to unfreeze my account. They simply just had to, let me withdraw my funds. They told me that you can trade, you can trade on this account. It's no problem, right? But I said that if there is no identity associated with that account, you guys can always simply just block my account and, take away all of my money. So I'm simply just not going to do that. So 𝗘𝗍𝑥, 𝗍𝗃, and, 𝗍𝗍, they would force you to do advanced KYC. They would force you to do all of these things. So be very careful if you are using any of these exchanges. I would just not recommend using any of these three exchanges, right? BLOFIN is good. Okay, it's a non-KYC exchange. Since day one, they've said that it's a non-KYC exchange, and I have literally not seen a single example where they ask someone to do KYC, or where they force someone to do KYC. Okay, I've been talking to BLOFIN representatives over and over again, during these meetings, and they're always very polite. They're always listening to all these issues. I'm not saying that BLOFIN has got no issues. Obviously, they have issues of very thin order books, huge spreads, and all of that. But still, they're trying to fix their issues, and it's a good exchange in my opinion in comparison to the rest of these exchanges that we have. If you can afford, I would always recommend Binance. Okay, Binance has good fee, like they have huge fee as well. And at the same time, they are not really going to tolerate anything shady. So if you are from a restricted region, if you are doing anything illegal, if you have any illegal funds or anything, then please do not use Binance, okay? Because Binance, it's not an exchange, for these kind of purposes. It's a very good exchange, but if you have your identity associated to Binance, if you have a Binance account, then you don't really have to be worried about anything. And you can have a side account on BLOFIN as well. BLOFIN is an exchange that I always promote. But anyways, BTC DOM. So BTC DOM right now is at resistance. If it reclaims that resistance, we are done. This mini altcoin rally, it's done. And you would have to simply just wait for another 2 months or so, and then this rally would resume, right? But if we get rejected around here, and so far this is the resistance, this is the first retest of this resistance, so you would expect that the rejection will happen. So in that case, price would simply just go back down to this 4,000 level, and it's going to result in another altcoin rally. But once again, the problem is same. BTC DOM chart, it's a very strong chart. Always we are in the market where Bitcoin has been constantly dominating, has been constantly outperforming the rest of the market. It's a Bitcoin dominated market, so that is why it's going to be very difficult to see any kind of huge move in Bitcoin dominance. Okay, and this is what this is exactly when the altcoin rally would start when Bitcoin dominance would at least fall back down to 39 or at least maybe 49% level. You already have seen that Bitcoin dominance literally fell from 65 to 60% level, just a 5% decrease, and we had altcoins going crazy. Okay, this was a really good thing, but so far we are at resistance, and let's just hope, let's just pray that price on Bitcoin dominance chart goes back down to the 60% level, this downtrend continues. But once again, nobody would have 100% certainty on this. This is not the chart that you can do a proper technical analysis on, and it's being dominated by various different factors. Okay, one thing that you can do is you can focus on others.d chart. Okay, so if Bitcoin dominance, let's say, is increasing, then at the same time others.d would be going down. Okay, so an update on others.d, a quick update on others.d. First of all, we failed to hold above this resistance level. This was not a good thing. We had a massive falling wedge breakout. All of this is history. We have discussed this throughout these previous live streams. We, ideally speaking, price should have held above this level. Okay, this 7.8% support level, but a small retest happened on the 4-hour time frame chart. If you would zoom in a little bit and go to the 4-hour time frame chart, you can see that we had a small retest, we had a small bounce, but price simply just failed to hold above this level. Reason is very simple, because at that time Bitcoin dominance was sitting at a support, right? So it was really it was really a critical moment for altcoins, and that is why you can see that we just had a major drop on the others.d chart. One thing that I honestly failed to look at failed to find on the others.d chart, failed to realize on the others.d chart in time, was an ascending trend line. Now, if you have been watching these live streams for the past, a year or so, you would know that I'm always a big fan of these trend lines. I'm always talking about trend lines on the charts, and we have been very successful using these trend lines. But something that I failed to find out in time was this trend line. Okay, you can see that we had a massive ascending trend line on the others.d chart. Okay, we had the first bounce, the second bounce, the third bounce, the fourth bounce, the fifth bounce. So as soon as that break started happening, it was very much evident that others.d is now eventually going to go back down to this support level, and it's eventually going to be a massacre for altcoins, right? But the good part is that others.d right now is sitting at a support, and at the same time, if you would take a look at the anchored VWAP also, if you draw the anchored VWAP from this low, then you can see that others.d has retested this support level, has retested this anchored VWAP. But not so good thing is that you have this 1-day 12 period exponential moving average. So this move which happened this morning, okay, so we had one altcoin move yesterday, and the second one happened this morning, was mainly because price got rejected at this 1-day 12 period exponential moving average. So during yesterday's move, we had price breaking below this low, we had price breaking below this support level, but at the same time we had price breaking below this 1-day 12 period exponential moving average as well. And then what happened was that price went back up a little bit, retested this 1-day 12 period exponential moving average, and then went all the way down to this support level, right? So, the main problem right now is that we have this 1-day 12 period exponential moving average that others.d has lost. And, that is exactly where this altcoin rally had started, when we reclaimed this 1-day 12 period exponential moving average on the daily time frame chart. This was a reclaim. Then we had the first retest, and then after the second retest, it simply just failed. So not so good thing is that we have failed, or we are simply just trading below this 1-day 12 period exponential moving average on the others.d chart. This is the end of the month. We have 6 to 7 days till this month ends. So I would not recommend forcing the market right now. Things are looking very hot right now. total 2, total 3, they're already sitting at the highs. So except for a few coins like Ethereum, which I am a big fan of right now, Ethereum chart is looking really good. I would not recommend forcing the market. I would not recommend trying to force the market right now, because things are not looking really good for the altcoin market, or are looking very non-decisive sort of. Okay, and if you would go to the 4-hour time frame chart, or even if you stay on the daily time frame chart, you would notice that another big thing that has happened in the past 24 hours is that now we have a massive deviation above this higher time frame support. Okay, you can call it a deviation, or if you go to the 4-hour time frame chart, this is simply just going to be a break below the support level, right? And now it has flipped into a resistance. Okay, it has been flipped into a resistance, which means that even if price on the others.d chart goes back up slowly like this, ultimately it's going to have a big rejection around here. Okay, and then ultimately would be sent back down to 7.42% level, which means that BTC DOM is not easily going to lose this level. You can see that the only reason why we are stalling a little bit, the only reason why this move has stopped a little bit, is because BTC DOM is sitting at 1-day 12-period exponential moving average. Okay, so even if it goes back down to the same levels, it's not going to be easy. Even if BTC.D goes back down to the same levels, it's not going to be an easy thing, and it's ultimately going to bounce. And this is where we are going to take short positions on any of these altcoins that just had a break below their higher time frame support levels. Okay, so we would wait for others.d to go back up to this resistance level. As soon as this retest happens, it's going to look exactly like this, in which this bullish retest happened, which was followed by a move towards upside. Then this bearish retest happened, and which was followed by a move towards downside. Okay, eventually we will be sent back down to this support once again. Okay, and this is where we can evaluate if we have to take a long or a short, or what exactly. Obviously taking a long is going to be more feasible, but because the first retest of this resistance has not happened as of yet, so that is why whenever this retest happens, I'm definitely going to take a short position on altcoins. You can see that we would have 1-day 12-period exponential moving average, also a few other confluences as well would be aligned perfectly. Now let's talk about total 2 and total 3. One reason that I am particularly worried is because total 3 is still quite far away from this support level. The first retest of this support has not happened as of yet, which means that something that has happened in the past 48 hours, this liquidation cascade, it may not have ended as of yet, and there is most likely going to be another move down to this level. I mean, look at this chart and decide for yourself. We are sitting right now in the middle of nowhere, and there is a chance that we may have another wick all the way down to this $933 billion level, which is going to be massive. And remember that others.d, it basically represents mainly the lower market cap and the mid market cap coins, but total 3 represents all of these coins, including the higher market cap coins like ADA, like Solana, like some other big market cap coins as well. Okay, so which means that there is a decent chance that we may go back down to this support level. Look at this chart once again, take a moment, look at this chart, decide for yourself, compare it with the historical evidence that you can see that whenever this drop happens, eventually we end up going back down to this support level, and we are still far away from this support. This wick that you saw was only this move which happened in the altcoin market during the past 48 hours was just when total 3 was making this wick towards downside, and we are still far away from this support, which means that altcoins, they are looking a little bit shaky right now. Okay, things are not looking that good. John is asking, bro, you have long advice in the Discord chat, and now you are saying we are going to go down. You gave long advice. I did not give long advice. My only advice is for Ethereum, right? Because Ethereum is a totally separate story. Total 3 is not taking into account Ethereum. Remember that. Total 3 crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you take a look at the total 2 chart, this is what would give you a slightly different picture. Total 2 has a small support present around here. So total 2 may bounce, and total 2 is indeed bouncing. Total 2 is indeed sitting at 1-day 12-period exponential moving average also. I did not say in the chat box that, in the Discord chat, that please take long positions. I did not mention it anywhere. I'm just saying that, and I'm not even saying take a short position. I'm saying that be cautious, take into account all of these factors, And apart from the positions that you already have open, please do not open any new position. Okay, this has been my take since the start of this live stream, that total 3, the bigger market cap coins, because remember that total 3 is being heavily dominated by these bigger market cap coins like ADA, like Solana, like HBAR. In total 3, things are not looking that good, but in the case of total 2, we are still sitting at this smaller support level, so that is why you need to be just a little bit careful. Others.d is sitting at support, so if you are looking to open new positions, please do not do that. Okay, let me repeat it once again. If you are looking to open any new long positions, and people have been asking me in the chat that, can we just open a long position? My take is very simple. No, please do not do that, because we are approaching the end of the month. And secondly, things are not looking that good. Regardless of what chart you are talking about, things are not looking good in the altcoin market right now. Okay, until and unless we reclaim some very important levels, which means that until and unless Ethereum reclaims like 3800 level and or 4000 level, until and unless others.d reclaims this resistance level, which is definitely going to take some time. This is crypto market we're talking about. Things may happen like just in a matter of few minutes or so, but still a rejection is expected here, and it would take some time for price to break back above this level. Okay, but there are some early warning signs that price may well go back down to simply just retest these support levels. And this is going to be very good opportunity. This is going to be a massive opportunity for the altcoin market, because this first retest has not happened as of yet, and it's going to be once again a big opportunity. Same is the case with total 3. Whenever this retest happens, it's going to be a massive opportunity for you to build any position. Now let's talk about ETH. ETH has been particularly strong throughout this whole move. I was talking about 3550 level. For as long as we are sitting above this 3550 support, nothing really has changed in terms of ETH. Ethereum is looking really good, and we would ultimately go back up to this resistance level at 4000. Let me open a blank chart for you, and let me show you what I'm talking about. First of all, on the 4-hour time frame chart, let's start the discussion from 4 hour. Okay, let's go to the chart on MEXC. Okay, so this is the 4-hour time frame chart on Ethereum. First of all, you can see that the uptrend is very much valid. Okay, this is your impulsive wave. This is your impulsive wave, this is your corrective wave, and this is your impulsive wave, which means that there is every possible chance that you may have a retracement down to maybe like 78.6, 0.786 fib level, or 0.705 fib level, or 0.61 fib level. Okay, so far the deeper retracement is happening. You can see that if you would draw the fib level, start of impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave, it's a very deep retracement all the way down to 88.6% fib level. But at the same time, nothing really has changed during the first time. If you would take a look at the 4-hour time frame chart, even you can see that last time as well, these are 2 times when Ethereum went to like 4000 in a matter of last 365 days or so. You can see that we went up to 3824, then went all the way down to 3200. Okay, so in this example, you can see that another example was maybe somewhere around here when we had a break above. Let me show you a better chart. Okay, so you can see that during this example, or during this move, Ethereum went all the way up to at least 3948, and then went all the way down to 3671. Okay, and before that we moved up to 3765, and then went all the way down to 3512. So it's a very common thing for ETH, before retesting the 4000 level, it's a very common thing for ETH to go back down to retest the 3500 level, and there is nothing bad about it. 3500 is a good support level, and this is the chart for Coinbase. If I show you the chart for all of these other exchanges, 3500 retest has literally just happened for the first time after the break above on the daily time frame chart, which means that there is nothing wrong with it. We're simply just retesting a higher time frame support. And as long as the 4-hour time frame chart is not giving you any signs, this is a 4-hour time frame chart, and this is your low. This is your major swing low on the 4-hour time frame chart. As long as you do not have a 4-hour candle close, and remember that in all of these previous examples which I just showed you, in none of these examples we had a 4-hour close below the previous low or below the 3500 level. Let's just not talk about the market structure. Let's simply just talk about the low. let's just talk about, sorry, let's just not talk about market structure. Let's simply just talk about the 3500 support. In none of these previous examples, we had a, we did not have any 4-hour candle close below the 3500 level, which basically means that 3500, it's a strong support. And if we get a 4-hour close below this level, our entry is around 3000, 3100. If we get a 4-hour candle close below this level, then the things are going to change entirely. Okay, that is going to be a totally different story, totally separate story. But still, Ethereum is looking good on the 4-hour, on the daily. The uptrend is still valid. The chart is still intact. In fact, we have this descending trend line on the chart for ETH. The trend line formation has now been confirmed after this third rejection down here, which means that only a matter of time that Ethereum gives you a breakout towards upside. I have another very good example for you. You can see that this is where the consolidation for Ethereum is happening on the 4-hour time frame chart. And you can see that if you take a look at the cumulative volume delta, okay, you can see that there has been constant aggressive selling taking place, or constant aggressive opening of short positions on the ETH chart. But still, ETH is not doing anything. ETH has remained particularly stable. These huge wicks are literally telling you the same story, that despite being the fact that the sellers are aggressive right now, the sellers are aggressively selling right now, despite the fact that it is evident from cumulative volume delta being really, really negative right now, Ethereum is not going anywhere, which means that there is a decent absorption taking place by the buyers, which means that these buyers, or these bids, they're placed down here at 3550 level. And as soon as that accumulation is done, we are simply just going to have a bigger break towards upside. And you have this descending trend line on the chart for ETH as well. And we are definitely going to have a break towards upside. And this cumulative volume delta is giving you the same story. Same as the case with the Bitcoin chart as well. On the Bitcoin chart also, you would notice that the cumulative volume delta for the past few days has been mostly negative, or has remained particularly neutral, which means that the aggressive selling is taking place, or the sellers, they have remained aggressive throughout this period. But despite of this fact that cumulative volume delta is negative, despite of that fact, price has not moved towards downside. We have not seen any major collapse happen on the chart for ETH or on the chart for Bitcoin, which basically shows you that the buyers or the market makers, they are slowly absorbing all of this selling pressure. They're slowly absorbing all of this selling which is taking place right now. And it's only a matter of time once all of that accumulation is being done, because we know that from the market maker model, that market makers just cannot open $1 billion position on the market price, okay? And they cannot just open it simply by placing a limit order at a certain price. They have to do it very carefully. And in order to do that, they have to simply just divide their position at different levels, and they have to do it slowly. Accumulation takes some time, distribution also takes some time. But the point here is that this is clearly a sign of accumulation, and I'm repeating my statement, only a matter of time that we have a break towards upside on ETH. I'm very confident that at least we would go back up to 4000 level. This is where the range highs for ETH are, okay? So we have three charts. The first one is this. The second one is a 4-hour time frame, which has this descending trend line also. The market structure is still valid. The market structure is still intact. But if we have a 4-hour candle close below this low, that's when this whole thesis is going to get invalidated, okay? Remember that whenever you are trading, you should always have a proper invalidation point where your whole thesis is going invalid, okay? So in this case, this is a point where the whole thesis is going to simply just get invalidated. If we go to the monthly time frame chart for ETH, this is another, by the way, very interesting story, okay? On the monthly time frame chart for ETH, you have something like this, okay? Let me remove all of this. This is the monthly time frame chart for ETH. You have a massive descending trend line, okay? But remember that this is the monthly time frame chart for ETH. Obviously, it would take some time to completely play out, okay? It's definitely not gonna happen immediately. But so far, we are seeing that Ethereum is showing some sort of resilience. If we manage to close maybe a monthly candle, once again, it's a very far-fetched idea. Sounds like a madman's dream. But right now, if we get a monthly candle close, we are just 6 days away from monthly candle close, 7 days, 12 hours, sorry, away from the monthly candle close. If we have a monthly candle close above this trend line, then ETH is going to be really, really bullish, and it's going to be a totally separate story. But in this case, I still believe that ETH is bullish right now. ETH is looking good right now. You cannot be afraid. Just the retest of 3,500 has happened as of yet. We are literally sitting at 36.50, 36.30, just a few $100 away from 4,000. I'm confident that 4,000, it's only a matter of time. Anthony is asking, okay, now over to the questions. If you have any questions in the chat box, please make sure to drop your question. And secondly, if you are new to my YouTube channel, first of all, and before I make that announcement, if you are new to my YouTube channel, please make sure to subscribe to it. Please make sure to like this live stream if you're enjoying the content. And if you have not followed me over Twitter, please, 𝗟𝘅𝗍𝗏, this is my Twitter handle. Please make sure to give me a follow over Twitter as well. I occasionally share market updates and calls over my Twitter account as well. It's an interesting feed that you would find out on Twitter. And finally, if you would like to receive more organized updates, calls, feed, and everything, you can always join in the Discord server. All of these links you can find in the description of this video. You can have a free 15-day access to our premium Discord server. Okay. Now over to you guys. If you have any questions, please make sure to drop in the chat box. I'm going to announce the winners of this monthly free premium monthly membership giveaway towards the end of this live stream, as soon as I'm done with the questions. But before we announce the winners, please make sure to show some activity. Please make sure to drop your question in the chat box also. Anthony's asking, so would you recommend we continue to hold a long-term spot bags, or would you sell and rebuy lower? I would not recommend selling right now. Okay, it's not really a good decision to sell right now. I would recommend holding on to your bags. Okay. Harpreet Singh is asking, hey Sherlock, I'm from your Discord premium server. Saw Mohsin posted there in free contest for free monthly subscription. What is that? Can you please explain? I mean, it's just something that you already have. Free premium monthly subscription. For those of you who are already in the premium Discord, okay, you don't really have to be worried about anything. For those of you who for some reason, if you cannot afford the premium membership, we're simply just doing a free giveaway for you guys. Okay. When Lambo, probably after rate cuts. Subscribed since a year, Mohit is saying. Thank you so much, Mohit. XRP, please, Sherlock. Okay, let's take a look at XRP. And before we do that, any other questions? Is it still a good time to long ADA right now? ADA is looking good, but still, if you want to go with ADA, maybe Link is going to be a better choice in that case. Okay, Link and Solana, they're much better choice in comparison to ADA. Although all of these Link, ADA, 𝗟𝗏 are looking good right now. Layer 1 market cap, Layer 1's market capitalization literally just hit this higher time frame support level once again. I guess the same thing is happening. We have a limited history on this chart. If you guys can do that, please submit a ticket with TradingView that why exactly the charts for these indices are not working. Please do that. It's very simple procedure, but TradingView has been lately having so many different issues. But anyways, you can see that Layer 1's market capitalization just hit this higher time frame support. And by the way, this is a very, very big support. We are reclaiming this level for the very first time after a long time. So it's a very important support. And remember that Layer 1's market cap takes into account Bitcoin's market cap, Ethereum's market cap, 𝗟𝗏𝗏's market cap, ADA's market cap, all of these big Layer 1. In fact, all of these big coins fall into the category of Layer 1, right? So it takes into account almost all of these coins. I mean, if you take a look at crypto's total market cap, what's the total market cap of crypto? The total market cap of crypto, I guess it's 3.7 trillion. Okay, so it's 3.8 trillion. And out of that, 3.46 trillion is being held in just this one, index. So can you imagine this? The total market cap of crypto is 3.8 trillion, 3.8 something. And out of that, almost 3.5 trillion is being held in terms of this index. This index called Layer1.c, which means that it's going to give you a complete picture of where exactly the market is headed towards. Obviously, you can take a look at total chart as well. It would give you the same picture, a much better, clear picture. But yeah, this is what you have to look at. And the good part is that crypto's total market cap just hit this high time frame support. And as long as we are holding above this support, nothing really has changed. And the future looks bright right now. John is asking, on a more serious note, John, first of all, this is serious discussion going on. I don't know, which part of my discussion or my statement, you got the idea that it's not a serious discussion, but yes, it is a very serious discussion going on. On a more serious note, for the altcoin market, are you expecting a final higher high for altcoins? Okay, so important question. Are you expecting a higher high? Yes, I'm expecting a higher high. Most of these altcoins, they're down 90% from their highs. But am I expecting, or do I expect a new all-time high on, let's say, 𝗍𝗫 Infinity? The all-time high, if I'm not wrong, for 𝗍𝗫 Infinity was maybe at $125 or maybe at $75. I could be wrong. The first time I heard about this coin was one of my college friends introduced it to me. At that time, back in 2022, it was trading at $75, and he was buying constantly at $75. He was also buying Alice at maybe $27. He was also buying Rune at $12. So the point here is that do I expect these coins to make new higher highs? The answer is a clear no. No, I do not expect that. Please do not expect these coins, especially the ones from the previous cycles, to make new highs. But do I expect Link to do something? Yes, I expect Link to maybe go 2x, 3x from this point onwards. Do I expect the same for HBAR? Yes. Do I expect the same for XRP? XRP already has made a new all-time high. Do I expect the same for Ethereum? Yes, I definitely expect the same for Ethereum. So, it really depends on which coin you're talking about. Do I expect the same for maybe some new coins like Hype? Yes, I definitely expect that. Do I expect the same for Polkadot? No, I believe that Polkadot, that chain is literally dead. So maybe not. Do I expect the same for BNB? Yes, I expect the same for BNB. So the point here is that you have to be very selective of the coins which you're talking about. Back in 2021, everything was rallying regardless of which sector you talked about, regardless of which category you talked about, regardless of which coin you were talking about. But in this situation, or during this cycle, the situation is entirely different. You have a selective altcoin market. Okay, you have selective rallies in the altcoin market, with capital rotating from one narrative to the other. I could be wrong, but I've said this several times that maybe there is not enough capital in the market right now to pump all of these coins at once. I mean, during the last cycle, maybe we had like 30,000, 20,000 tokens. During this cycle, we have 30 million plus tokens every single day. Thousands of tokens are being minted, are being created. So the point here is that it's not the same during this cycle. It's a different cycle, and you would have to make yourself adjusted to this cycle. So do not expect it to maybe just do not expect all of these altcoins to behave the same way as they did back in 2021. The serious note was pertaining to the When Lembo comment I had made previously. Yeah, I completely understand that, John. I was just pulling your leg. Good coins such as 𝗏. Yes, just for your information, before I respond to that question, 𝗏 and Hype are the only two coins in this market that have outperformed the rest of the market, including Bitcoin. Okay, in terms of returns, 𝗏 and by the way, 𝗏 is from AI sector. So if you ask me, would FET be making a new higher high? I would be a little bit skeptical because both are from the same category, both have the same narrative, both have the same AI narrative. FET no, but 𝗏 yes. Okay, so you have to be selective about the coins that you are choosing right now. Seems like ETH should outperform Bitcoin end of this cycle, but most the others. First of all, this has been a complete Bitcoin show so far. Okay, once ETH starts outperforming Bitcoin, that is when the capital rotation would happen into Ethereum, and that is when you would have the second phase of the market. And finally, once the capital rotation starts happening into the mid market cap and low market cap coins, or once others.d starts going up massively, that's when you would have the third phase of this cycle, which is going to be the final case. And I honestly believe that we are slowly approaching that phase very quickly. I have an open long position at 47 cents with small margin, thinking to DCA double. What is your recommendation level for DCA? Which coin are you talking about? No, Chris, I was not talking about BNB saying that it would just go up to maybe $1,000. I'm just saying that it would just continue to go up. But although I'm not, too bullish on, BNB in general, I honestly don't like trading that coin. It has always been ranging around $600, $700. I don't even look at that chart anymore. XLM is good. XLM stellar. It's a very good project. If you're talking about 47 cents entry, let's take a look at the chart for XLM. I literally missed this whole move. Two coins in this market. The first one during this two week period. Two coins I completely regret missing out on. The first one was, I guess, CFX or something, which went up 150%, and the second one was XLM. At that time, the breakout had only started in the altcoin market, and for some reason, you can see that my alert still present here. I was waiting for just a small pullback to get into XLM, and then XLM never went back. It went up almost 107%. Your entry is a little bit too high on XLM. I would not recommend having this sort of an entry. XLM, I believe, would eventually go back down to, yeah, your entry is 47 cents. That is little too high. You literally just long the top. But right now, XLM is sitting at this support, which is a good thing. But eventually, I believe after a few days, it would go back down to at least 31 cents. Okay. But you do not have a good entry, try to exit your position. This is what my personal recommendation is. Okay, it's not a good entry. You have an entry at the resistance level. Wine pump 90% in 1 hour. Yeah, that's a it's I'm just talking about the opportunities that I personally missed. Hey Sherlock, are you planning on closing your ETH position as we approach 4K? Yes, Nicholas. As we approach 4K, 90% of the position I would simply just close, because I do not have balls big enough to hold my position for that long. We already have been holding it from like 3,000 or so, and I've personally invested a bit too much into this position, so that is why I would like to exit the position, not completely, but some part of it at 4,000. Should we close all leverage long positions except ETH and wait due to the total 2 chart you discussed? No, the positions that you have open, keep those positions, but do not open any new position. This is what I'm trying to say. Okay, limit your risk for now. Can you have a look at Sol? We have an open position on Solana, sir. What do you want me to take a look at? We have an open position on Solana. We have spot position. We have long position open on Solana. This is what our position is, if I'm not wrong. $190. I'm sorry, $190 is our entry on Solana. 190 or maybe 191. Okay, that position is looking good. Solana is just retesting the support, so hopefully we will have the retest and then we would go up to maybe $295. So nothing much in this regard. Solana, Link, 𝗏, ADA, some of these 3 or 4 coins are looking really good right now. How did you get your targets? On what? On what? John Matrix, on what? Can you check Penguin? Yes, let's take a look at Penguin. This is another coin that literally just keeps on going up. I don't know why. So this is where I'm waiting for it to go down to 2 equal highs. Okay, so this was an absolutely good short position. Equal highs. We have 2 equal highs. Okay, even you can't take a short position right now if you are a complete degen. But the stop loss is going to be a bit wide. I wish I had noticed this chart a bit earlier. I would have definitely taken this short position right at this level, because you can see that we have 2 equal highs. As soon as you have equal highs on the chart, you would definitely want to take a short position. Simple man theory. Equal highs, take a short position. Can you take a look at 𝗠𝗏𝗏? 𝗠𝗏𝗏 is just has been a disappointment. Just forget about that, honestly. It's a good project, good narrative, RWA, but honestly the chart disappoints me every time I take a look at it. Your targets in trade up to 368, I think. It was using the fib levels, okay? So whenever we have something going in the uncharted territory, we are forced to always use fib levels. So let's suppose I have to find one working fractal on the chart for Solana, right? One choice could be this fractal. Okay, let's use this fractal. Let's draw the fib level, start of impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave, and you can see that price perfectly bounced at 65% fib level, which means that the next resistance for Solana is going to be 212, and the third one is going to be 161, and then the final one is going to be 261, 270, and you can simply just keep on selecting your targets like this. Or you have a choice to maybe use some other fractal. Okay, that's completely your personal choice which fractal you would like to use. Let's suppose if we go to maybe some higher time frame chart, and if we use this low right here, and if we use this high right here, it's most likely going to be monthly time frame chart. then in that case, you can see that 70.5, 65% fib level retest happened. If you reverse these levels, this is 127% level. This is where my target is, okay, precisely. And eventually price will go back up to 161, 165% fib level if there is anything interesting left for Solana. How to set that up? Key to moon when? It will take some time. Fib levels to the moon, yeah. When is the live stream ending? It is about to end, and we are about to announce the winners of the giveaway. So real quick, raise your hand in the chat box if you would like to have premium membership for Foxian. If I choose daily time frame on that MTF EMA indicator you gave us with multiple time frame options, is it same as that yellow line? No, the yellow line is 1 day 12 period exponential moving average. It is this indicator, multi-time frame exponential moving average. It's simply just 1 day 12 EMA. But if you're talking about MTF EMA average, it's a totally separate indicator and it's a totally separate thing, okay? MTF 200 EMA and multi-time frame exponential moving average, they are two different indicators. It's simply just moving average, okay? It's nothing complicated, literally nothing. And this one, MTF EMA average, this is a slightly different thing. Chris is asking how to know. Hope the market will get bullish like this, chat. I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing some sort of engagement in my chat box in my YouTube chat, so I'm really interested right now. So first of all, we have almost like 60 people watching this live stream. Only 47 of you have liked this live stream. First of all, please make sure to like the live stream, okay? This is the most important thing. Make sure to like this live stream. I have lifetime best decision ever. Okay, this is really good. Now, this is a really good comment. I wish you did not have lifetime. I could have given you maybe a 3-month free premium for leaving this nice comment. Thank you so much for that. Please make sure to like this live stream. Okay, please make sure to first of all subscribe to this YouTube channel. During next live stream, we are going to have a lifetime giveaway. In fact, we would have a lifetime giveaway in every single one of these live streams. Why don't you give us all? Yes, all of you can have, by the way, at least a 15-day free premium. Okay, at least half a month of free premium. All you have to do is simply just join, using our referral link on one of these partner exchanges like BLOFIN or BITUNIX, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Hype is going to same market cap as BNB. Hype is a good project, but comparing it to the market cap of BNB, that would be an exaggeration in my opinion. I mean, it would take some time, but yes, the project is really good. Let me take any questions and then I'm announcing the winners. I hope you're right about all of this, but seems like history repeating from the last cycle. Okay, so if history repeats itself, then all of us would be happy. I mean, I would be more than happy if it actually happens. Hey Sherlock, are the setups that you send in Foxian and Bravos the same? I'm in Bravos and wanted to know. Yes, they're very much the same, but if you want a little bit more activity, a little bit more insights into all of these things like markets and stuff, then obviously you can join my Discord server. Yes, the mentorship program is exclusive to Foxian. It's not available for any other Discord server. Okay, did I miss any questions? Let me quickly respond and then. So would you say Q3, Q4 could be good for some selective altcoins? Not exactly selective. This is just I don't know how to put it into words, but it's not. It's going to be slightly different in comparison to 2021. Okay, it's going to be a slightly different thing. It's not like everything would keep on pumping for like 3-4 months, just like we had back during the last cycle. It's going to be maybe a selective rally, rotation from one sector to the other. Maybe something like that. Maybe something that we have been seeing from the last 1 year or so. Okay, rallies every now and then, but so far those rallies have not done us any good, honestly. Have not taken us any far away, because these rallies, they have literally been a source of disappointment for people. People have been getting more and more disappointed looking at these smaller rallies. Okay, people are getting exhausted looking at these smaller rallies. Okay, so time for the giveaway. Yeah, we have come a long way, John. Honestly, we have come a long way. We only have like maybe like 2,300 subscribers. It was only a year ago that I started this YouTube channel, so I'm really happy to see people engaging, people liking the content. We still do just one live stream per week. I have been trying my best to do maybe 2 or 3, but sometimes it gets a little bit difficult. I'm thinking about, in fact, starting live trading. Okay, so that's when we are going to get some sort of real participation in these live streams. Okay, that is when things would heat up a little bit. Okay, so first winner of this giveaway is the first winner for this giveaway is, who is this guy raising hands over and over again? Okay, let's give it to 𝗏𝘅𝘍𝗀. Okay, the first winner of the premium membership is 𝗏𝘅𝘍𝗀. Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations for winning. And the second one is this guy called Trinity. So yeah, the first guy has a username called Trinity, and the second guy has a username called 𝗏𝘅𝘍𝗀. Okay, just join the Discord servers. The link you can find in the description of this video. Just join the Discord server and open a support ticket, and you can have access to the free premium monthly membership. Okay, you would have to share a screenshot of your YouTube channel with us, just for confirmation. And secondly, you guys can also have free 15-day access to Discord server. Okay, it's nothing complicated really. We had an active giveaway in which all you had to do was simply just like and retweet the pinned tweet on Foxian's Twitter channel. Okay, and you could simply just have access to the free 15-day premium membership. But anyways, thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Please open a support ticket. Musin is here. He would already be confirming the winners. He would ask you for some screenshots. Thank you so much. Yeah, stop sending these emojis. The giveaway is done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Join the Discord server. Okay, open a support ticket if you have any issues. If you want maybe a discount or something, if you have any capital related issues, if you cannot afford the premium membership. I mean, I have seen people, complain about it, that they do not have enough money to pay for the membership. I literally have given free memberships also to many of my students as well, free mentorship to many of my students as well, who are now full-time analysts. They have been associated with me for a long enough period. I mean, I try my best to help as many people as I can, especially from these countries where $60, $70 means a lot to people. Sometimes is the whole month's wage, for some people. So yeah, if you, for some reason, if you cannot afford the membership, you don't really have to be worried about it. Just open a support ticket, tell us what exactly is the problem, and we would try to accommodate you. Okay, we have done that, we are constantly doing that, and we would try to accommodate you. That's literally not a big deal, as long as you are keen about learning, as long as you have a genuine issue, as long as you are really wanting to learn about something. My mentorship or membership, that would be free for you. Okay, if you have a genuine issue, you don't really have to be worried about anything. I cannot afford my next meal, can I get lifetime membership? Okay, guys, thank you so much. And once again, we would provide you as much help as we can. Okay, but remember this thing, this is unlike other Discord servers where they just care about money. I make enough money from trading, so I don't really have to just say that, okay, my life is dependent upon these memberships. So yeah, that's why you don't have to be worried about, like, if you have genuine issue, because I see a lot many people commenting that they have some sort of issue due to which they cannot afford membership. Just tell us your story. Okay, if we believe that story, we would give you, we would try to accommodate you. Okay, Thank you so much. Take care and have a great week ahead. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like this live stream. Okay, this is what I want from all of you. Okay, and if you're not following me over Twitter, 𝗟R𝘁𝗲, this is my Twitter handle, and make sure to give me a follow over Twitter. I share insights, market updates, calls over my Twitter account as well. And finally, join in the Discord server. Link you can find in the description of this video. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.